Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Be a Loser. In this video we're going to discuss the key to low carb high fat, macronutrients. When we discuss macronutrients, and especially as relates to an LCHF diet, we are referring to carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Now, macronutrients differ from micronutrients. Examples of micronutrients would be vitamins and minerals that are inherent in foods. Each of the macronutrients, or macros as they are commonly called, each one has a different effect on ketosis, and therefore a different effect on blood glucose and insulin. Fats are considered to be 90% ketogenic, meaning that only 10% of the fats that you eat are converted to glucose and have an impact on insulin. Simply put, if you eat 150 grams of fat, only 15 grams becomes glucose in your body. Proteins are around 45% ketogenic. This means that over half the protein you eat is converted to glucose and will raise insulin levels. Carbohydrates are 100% non-ketogenic. That means every gram of carbs that you eat raises blood sugar and stimulates insulin production. So as we can see, it's fairly obvious that carbohydrates, and to a lesser degree protein, will have an effect on our ability to enter ketosis. The key to understanding LCHF is in understanding how these macros are used by the body. Protein is broken down into amino acids, which are used for many different positive body functions. Any excess amino acids are converted to glucose, which would obviously have an impact on insulin levels. Now, fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol, which are also used for positive body functions. Any excess fats are stored as triglycerides in the body's fat cells. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose and used for immediate energy. This causes the release of insulin. This in turn stores the excess glucose as glycogen or body fat. Now, approximately 6 hours after eating, insulin levels will start to drop. Once these levels have normalized, the liver begins to release its stored glycogen as glucose, primarily to feed the brain. Additionally, triglycerides are released from body fat as free fatty acids to fuel our muscles and liver. If more fuel is needed, this is when the liver will begin to convert the fatty acids to ketones. The longer we maintain this state, the more triglycerides are released from our body fat and converted to ketones by the liver. Eventually, the liver and muscles will release all of their glycogen and begin to use ketones for fuel. These ketones are also used to fuel the brain. So as we can see, by eating a very low amount of carbohydrates per day, we reduce the amount of glucose in our system and promote the burning of our own fat for fuel. This also has the benefit of keeping insulin levels low and reducing insulin resistance. So that begs the question, how much of each macro should we eat to be in ketosis? Well, there are generally three types of LCHF diet. Strict low carb, which is generally less than 20 grams of carbs per day. This is also referred to as a ketogenic diet and what is recommended when starting on weight loss. Moderate low carb, between 20 and 50 grams of carbs per day, which would be used for continuing weight loss after entering ketosis. And finally, liberal low carb, between 50 and 100 grams of carbs per day, which would be used to maintain a specific weight. Now, when calculating how many grams of carbs you are eating, you subtract the fiber from the total carb count to get the net carbs. Therefore, if you're eating, say, a quarter cup of almonds with a total carb count of 5 and 3 grams of fiber, then you subtract 3 from 5 to get a total of 2 net carbs. Now, protein is also important in LCHF, but as we've seen, it has a very high non-ketogenic quality. So we have to monitor how much protein we are eating, especially when on a strict low carb or ketogenic diet. This is the part that most people who are not seeing results are missing. It was definitely the case with me and my wife initially. A good way to determine how much protein you should eat daily is to determine your activity level. If you are sedentary, meaning you do not exercise, then you should eat about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass per day. If you are lightly to moderately active, then you should eat between 0.8 and 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass per day. And if you are highly active, then you'll need 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass per day. So what the heck is lean body mass? Well, it's defined as the total mass of your body minus the mass of your fat. Good luck calculating that. Well, I have the answer for you in a link in the description. But first, we need to understand that we generally discuss the macros for these diets as percentages of our total caloric intake. Ideally, you want to start on the strict keto diet and keep your total carb intake below 20 grams per day. So basic macro ratio would be something like 5 to 10% of your total calories from carbohydrates, 15 to 20% from protein, and 75% would come from fat. So to determine the percentages of the macros for your situation, I'd recommend a macro calculator. I'm going to link to a fabulous one on ruled.me. You simply put in a few numbers and choose an activity level, and it will calculate your macros as percentages of your diet as well as a number of grams. And for those of you who don't have a calipers at home to determine your lean body mass, there's a visual estimating system in the macro calculator. All in all, it's a great tool, so be sure to check it out. That brings us to the end of this video. We'll be back soon with another video about the side effects when first entering ketosis and, of course, how to handle them. In the meantime, I encourage you to like and comment on our videos. If you have questions, leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, please subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on new videos. You can also be updated through Facebook as well as our website, bealoser.today. You can find links to our Facebook page as well as our website in the description of each and every video. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep being a loser.